This is going to be a longer video about crypto prices right now and where they can go, because you've probably seen the price action. It's not that good, and basically the vibes on the timeline on crypto Twitter are really bad, and people are predicting doom and gloom, but some of them are also predicting that we're going to enter the best bull market ever. Having said that, there are a lot of people that are saying, starting with Kobe, who was the first to say that, is that we are not even in a bull market yet. That's only to begin soon. So having said that, let's have a look at a couple of charts, and then I'm going to talk about some of the predictions that people have. And of course, nothing here is financial advice. The market can go both ways. You can lose money, you can win money, but always do your own research and know what you're risking. So first of all, if you look at the charts right now, they're not looking that bad. If you look at Bitcoin, right, you have $55,000 Bitcoin, which is probably like 30% from the highs of $70,000, 25%. So that's not bad. On the other hand, if you look at Ethereum, then basically we are looking at around something like 40% down from the all-time high, well, this year high of $4,000. So this is much worse, but still probably manageable. You can look at other things, and we're going to have a look at that as well. So for example, going to Solana, especially if you go to the full chart, you're going to see what's happening there. But basically, Solana right now is at 128. That's also probably around 60% down from $200, which was the top this cycle. We're going to have a look at a couple of alts as well, like PEPE and WIF. So PEPE at the top, well, it's better to look at the market cap, but basically PEPE is very similar to what Ethereum is doing. At the top, that was at around $5 billion market cap. Currently sits at around 2.5, I think, so 50% down. We've got it even worse. I think at the top that was like $4.5 billion, or closer to even closer to 5 even. Right now, that's basically 1/3 of the price, with $1.5 billion or $1.5 the price. So it's not really good, but we're going to discuss what are the potential here and where we are in the cycle, and whether it's a bull market or a bear market. So we also can have a look at total market cap excluding BTC and ETH. This is mostly driven by Solana right now, which basically takes all the top crypto outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum, and pretty much you get the price action of, well, partly Solana, partly Bitcoin, because it's very high beta to Bitcoin. So we can have a look at that. We can see where the price action is moving, and also looking at that, you can see where the different points of support, points of the chart being broken up. So that's very interesting. Now, going into some of the cool things, I did a small survey, and basically this confirmed what I had thought before. Of course, this is in any way non-conclusive, because as you can see, 34 votes is not a lot, but on the other hand, also it's basically 50-50. So people are voting for end of September prices for BTC and for BTC, Ethereum, Solana. So those are the predictions. And basically, the two type of predictions that I see for the end of September prices for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana are basically that you get either $70,000 for Bitcoin or $45,000 for Bitcoin if we're going much lower. On the other hand, for the price prediction for Ethereum is either $3,500, so we're going to go above $3,000, or on the other hand, we're going to fall down to 1.8 or even lower than that with Ethereum. And on the other hand, Solana will go back to the all-time high of this year with 190, or will fall down a little bit more to $90 or below that. So those are the two type of predictions, and people basically are 50-50. If you're trying to read things on Twitter, you have to remember that people have different biases and they're playing different timelines. So for example, if you take Nachi, he's one of the top traders on Binance, and he was basically, and he is still very bullish, but in this short time frame, so he took two trades for Ethereum, and basically he's shorting from 2,400, basically looking for sub 2,000, and he says that his setup will be invalidated if the price sustains around 2,500. Same for Bitcoin. He's actually going with the short from 55k, trying to get into 49k. And also, well, he put a spread, so he's playing that with options, basically looking for 4x potential. And he either looking for sub 50k by the end of month. Price should stay below 58, ideal for the breakdown setup to work. So he's playing that out with options, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, he's expecting the going down. Another cool prediction is Kaleo. He's doing that with a couple of graphs. And basically, if you look at that, we're basically sitting hit at 55k right now. And he's expecting that we're going to dip, first of all, in SPX. So we have to take a little step back and actually look at the entire market first. So we're going to have a look at that page and then go to, instead of going with Solana, we're going to have a look at markets and look at S&P 500. Now, I want you to look at that because basically it will let you understand that basically outside of crypto, all the markets are basically at all-time high or very close to it. So all-time high for S&P 500 was basically like a couple of days ago, and that was the revisiting of what happened in July. So basically, that was a pretty cool run-up of S&P, especially with NVIDIA. Well, NVIDIA right now is a little bit down. If you look at some of the stocks, for example, you have NVIDIA here, then basically it got down 2% in the past couple of days. But apart from that, NVIDIA is at all-time high for the entire summer. And if you look at that, and if you look at some other markets, then basically you're going to see that it's only in crypto that we are seeing this doom and gloom scenario. Outside of that, all the other markets are working pretty well, which means that if that's going to go much worse, crypto might dip even harder, and this is the scenario that Kaleo is considering. Of course, S&P 500 won't dip that much. Probably the dip here is for 4 or 5%, but that might cause another 10-20% dip on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and so on. So you have to keep that in mind. Now, having said that, we can look back at the scenario here for that Kaleo is presenting, and you have that basically he's presenting another dip going down to like 50k, and that will be the moment that we will see the reversal. And the reason that is very simple, and that goes for any kind of asset. If the price is good, people start bidding, and 50k seems to be like a good price for Bitcoin. Something similar might happen to Ethereum. This is basically the rough graph from Kaleo. You can see that he did that before, and basically he predicts that we're going to revisit like basically $2,000 to 20 to 200, and then we're going to get the reversal. And the idea here is that the reversal will progress us to all-time high and even all-time high this year. We're going to see that that might happen in the end. We're going to see especially what will happen. You have to remember that there are a couple of bullish scenarios. So first of all, we have US elections. There are rate cuts. Those might be priced in. We don't know that, whether they will happen or not. And there are different data coming from the US economy, the global economy, that might be more bullish than they are expected. So that's one thing. Another thing is, of course, that we're going to get a little bit of liquidity from FTX. I think FTX has something like $16 billion to distribute. And that's going to go probably in cash. So if people will start to use that for bidding on coins, then that's also a bullish scenario. Another bullish scenario is that people will just, USDT will be printed together with the American dollars, and basically that will go to the market and people will use more leverage to get more bets. That might be a reversal as well. There are a couple of scenarios like that. On the bearish side, however, we have this, we have a bunch of wars going on. We have US elections and that going against crypto, but probably in the end, US election will be a non-event, and sometime soon, once we know who will be the candidate for the president, who will win the presidency in the US, that will get priced in, and that should happen before November. The bearish scenario is that we're going to see a recession, and that the Fed rate cuts won't do much. People will get panic on the main market. So with S&P 500 will going down, and basically there will be a TradFi recession that might cause also more risky assets like crypto to fall down as well. So that might be an invalidation of this kind of setups here of going and being bullish by the end of the year, because basically end of the years are pretty bullish. Usually the assets tends to go higher. We're going to see what will happen. Also, finally, Kaleo has a similar graph for Solana, right, going back to around something like 120, 115. We touched basically 115. That was the lowest on August 5th. That was the biggest dump. And apart from that, Solana is doing pretty fine, as you can see. So we're going to see what will happen here. So those are the scenarios that are pretty interesting. I think if you look at, especially at the market, but you have to remember, so this is still compatible with what Nachi is saying. You have to remember the short term, the next couple of weeks, versus the long term, the next couple of months, and those might be different also from the next couple of years. If you're looking for the zoom out scenario, and for example, if you're looking for, I don't know, 2026, 2027, you're going to play the markets totally differently, probably chilling and don't expect much right now. On the other hand, if you're playing for the short term, probably we're in a bearish trend, as Nachi is here saying, and that might be worth taking a look at that, and also having a hedge if you're willing to hedge your positions. So this is basically what the markets are saying. The general timeline on crypto Twitter is super bearish. People are basically talking about the end of crypto, or at least the end of meaningful applications. Also, there's a huge trend talking about financial nihilism and how the Gen Zs are basically all going on for the quick wins, or get rich quick or nothing. There are many different Twitter threads about that. So altogether, there's definitely this bad vibe scenarios, and we're going to see what happens. I'm pretty much neutral at this point. I believe that both scenarios can play out. So I'm basically in spot and trying to hedge some of that through shorts or different kind of perps, but I don't know. I'm basically, I should have sold probably in July and walk away, or in March, or in April. That would be probably the chillest scenario, but we are here together. I'm sitting in spot, looking for what will happen in the future. Let's see. I mean, it can go both ways. We can go back to the highs. We can go much lower. This is crypto, so always do your research, and remember, nothing here is financial advice, purely educational content. Subscribe to the channel and see you in the next video.